Okay. That being said, guys, thank you guys for joining us today for our second meeting of June. My name is Nnakina Xi-Amaru Fears, and I am the current chief of the Xi-Amaru Republic. And this is pretty much our tribal meeting to give you guys an update on what's going on in the nation, what's coming up. Give me one moment here, and let's begin. So, that being said, today we're going to touch on some important points. So we're going to be discussing the grand opening. Now, keep in mind, we have had offices before, but this is going to be the first office where tribal members will be able to come in and get assistance. And then we have we're going to be discussing business opportunities, official licensing programs that we are going to start putting in place. We're also going to talk about the upcoming BERT education class and featured business spotlight that we're going to start having as well. And then we're going to close. And just to make sure, guys, that you can hear me, give me some love, give me some thumbs up just to make sure that I know you guys are okay. God, thank you all. Thank you all. Okay. So let's go. Walk-in office grand opening. So this grand opening, guys, is going to take place not Fridays, it's Saturday. So it's going to be Saturday, June. Give me one moment here. So that is wrong because that's a Saturday. So that's actually Saturday. So that's about 2 weeks from today. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Central Time. Now, for those of you, this is going to be in the Memphis area. So if you are not in this area, it doesn't mean that you can't attend. It is a free event. We're basically going to be cutting the ribbon, getting to know each other, a little bit of mingling, just getting, just having a good time together. Now, if you're not in this area and you are nearby, we encourage you to try to come out and be here for that. Make some time. It's going to be short, so it's about 1 to 2 hours, so you can drive up or come out before that and be able to participate. Now, you will need to make sure you dress formally. So it is formal, semi-formal, no jeans, no, again, semi-formal, guys, because if not, we would hate that you come out and don't get in just because you're not dressed appropriately. So make sure that if you are coming and planning to attend, that you are dressed appropriately for the occasion. The location will be shared on the RSVP confirmation once we send it out. And of course, it's going to be public after that, but that's just what it is. Now, you will be required to RSVP, which the invitations will be open next week, similar to how you guys did today. We do need to confirm. Now, this doesn't mean, this event specifically is open to the general public. So even if you are not a tribal member, or if you have, you guys in here are tribal members, but let's say there are people who you have as family and friends, and they may want to come out with you, that you can also bring them. There's no limit on how many people can attend, but we want to make sure that we do know who will be coming. So you want to make sure that you also include that information. And if it's not one person, so keep in mind, each person will have to RSVP. Even if you are bringing a friend, you have to make them also put in their information so that we can reach out to them if need be. Now, again, absolutely no entry without you being on the list. That's no exception. So if you come out and you miss the deadline to be on the list, you will get turned around. So you want to make sure that you be on the lookout if you want to attend. Be on the lookout to RSVP because the deadline is going to close. Once it closes, there is no, hey guys, I missed it. Can you guys, we're not going to do that. So make sure you pay attention to your inbox. If you don't see any information in your inbox, please keep in mind, try saving our email address. I would say to your phones, to your contacts, so that way you are not missing any communications from us, because sometimes stuff do go to spam. So you want to make sure that you are not experiencing that, and then you don't get the updates that you need from the nation. Now, when we talk about business opportunities, we are about to start where you will have the opportunity for, now again, this will be, you will have to be a tribal citizen with a business to have a license. That will be one of the requirements for you to be able to acquire this license, because we want to make sure that when it comes to our nation, we are providing opportunities for the people who are here. You understand? Because we are Xi-Amarus, that means that we are responsible to develop the system, meaning also when it comes to our economy, we have to make sure that we are providing opportunities for the people who are here. So again, you do have to be a tribal citizen, official citizen, meaning officially a Xi-Amaru Native American, to be eligible to participate in this program. And what this means is you will be able to sell merch. You will also be able to obtain a license to sell the flag and any other nation approved products that you want. So who will be able to, and then you will also be listed as a vendor. So we're also going to start featuring those who have this business or these types of business. You will be featured on our website. That way people in the area or different areas will be able to contact you and know where they can find you and just be able to purchase from you. Now, if you are not, let's say you've been considering, if you don't currently have a tribal business, go to Aboriginal Ministry of Justice. You will need to have one registered to be approved to get a license for this. If you don't have a business where you're currently selling merch or in this industry, but you want to add that into your business that you currently have, you also have that opportunity to do that. Now, full details will be sent out next week. This is just a brief update on what's coming next. And that being said, we also have level 1 doula. So it's going to be a birth education class. So after our opening, this is going to follow right after that. So if you are coming out, consider taking off some time if this is something you're interested in, that you are able to possibly attend. Now, that being said, this will be on between June 20, so the 23rd to the 24th. So it's a 2-day event. The location is going to be also in this area. Registration fee will be $499.99. All proceedings will go directly towards the 2025 Vision Project, supporting our nation building initiatives. Now, we are accepting, this will be limited to how many people will be able to participate. So keep that in mind if you are considering. Make sure once you receive the communication, because this will be, for you to attend, you will be able to purchase when would that, I forgot the schedule. I think it's going to be, let me see here, just to make sure I give you guys the right information. So starting on the 9th, which is basically Monday, you will be able to get your ticket if you are considering coming out. And all proceedings, like I said, will go out. Now, once that is over, like there's only 20 spots. So if you're interested, be on the lookout for that. That way you don't miss the opportunity to attend. And then who can, like, so what we mean by open to, so who would be the ideal people to get this type of process or service or come out to this type of event? Those who are seeking certifications to serve as doulas within the Xi-Amaru Republic jurisdiction. You will be able to officially get job opportunities or things like that, where you will be protected when it comes to this type of Indigenous practice, where you won't have to go outside of our jurisdiction to seek additional requirements. As long as you are working with people who are in our nation, then you would be covered legally and lawfully. And also, if you are an expecting mother or others simply wishing to be informed and empowered, this is something that you can also attend. This will include cultural birth education within the Xi-Amaru traditions. What does this mean is we're going to be covering how to pretty much document and do things within the government. So I will also be a part of this as a speaker and a teacher, but in the government side, basically making sure that those who attend this class know how to properly document and how to address, between our jurisdiction and the other jurisdiction when it comes to birth, know how to serve and how to educate their potential clients or even themselves when it comes to this type of information. Also, what will be included is supporting mothers during pregnancy. Give me one moment here. Thank you, guys. Okay. So also what you will be getting in that is basically, as a doula, making sure that you are educated when it comes to supporting mothers during pregnancy, labor, and postpartum. Also, how to assist if you are working alongside a midwife, knowing what role you will play, and making sure that you are able to also be a good support system for a midwife. And then also what will be included is safe home birth practices rooted in cultural wisdom, meaning that how to be prepared for birth when it comes to if someone is considering having a home birth, making sure that you know the best way to and what you should be prepared for, making sure that you have all that information so that you are able to better serve your community. So this is very important, guys. So this isn't just something that we want you to take lightly if you are considering coming out to this, because the reality is our communities need more support when it comes to their families. And we want to make sure that we are preparing people to serve for the next generation. You understand? So if this is something that you feel called to, please consider attending and making it a priority to come out and participate and be able to take on this mission and vision. Now, participants will receive a final exam to confirm that you have the knowledge, basically. So it doesn't mean that if you attend that you are guaranteed to pass. So you also want to make sure, again, this is a class. It's a brief class, so you still need to make sure you are studying and that you are taking notes. So you have to make sure that you are not waste your money. Make sure that you come out and come prepared to learn, okay? Because what we are doing in our jurisdiction is preparing the next group of people who will be serving our communities, and we have to make sure that they're doing that in excellence. So again, you're not guaranteed just because you pay that you're going to pass. So you want to make sure that you take this event very serious, because we want to make sure that we don't waste your time and you don't waste your money. So you want to make sure that you come out prepared to learn. And once that is complete, we will grade that. And then once we confirm your grade, then if you pass the class, then you will receive an official certificate of completion. Special guest speakers, you will have experience in Indigenous birth work, midwifery, and family wellness will be teaching throughout this event. So me and other people within our jurisdiction will be coming out to educate you guys on that. Moment. So now we do have a VIP upgrade option for those of you who will be considering or will consider attending this meeting. You will be able to upgrade to VIP, which will be $999.99. This will include a private dinner on day 2 with me, the chief and the event speakers and educators and other tribal leadership, because I know for a long time many people aren't really familiar with who's directly involved. So we want to make sure that you guys get familiar with the people who support you. So we want to make sure that, and then also, you know, this will be a personal evening for deeper conversation, connection, and insight. So although it's going to be the Burt class, this will actually be like a good time where we just connect and you get to not pick, but you would get to basically talk to us and really get to know us a little better and just, you know, get a little more insight in who we are and what we do and how what you are considering doing will partner with that vision. So if that is something you're interested in, consider getting the VIP. Okay. And again, tickets will be available for that event next week. So be on the lookout for communications to that and it will be on our website, Aboriginal Ministry of Justice, in the service area, but we will also send out communication via email once it is available to you. Now, also featured tribal business initiatives. So what this means, guys, is our official website. Give me one here. Our official website will begin featuring tribal businesses operating within our jurisdiction. So right now, we don't currently have a way to let people know, you know, who's in their area when it comes to business. And we want to make sure that that is something that that you guys have access to. So now moving forward within the next couple of weeks, those who have tribal businesses, you will be featured on a list as long as you are in good standing, because we also want to make sure that we are not getting any reports of any injuries. We want to make sure that you're operating your business to standard. So make sure that once you have a tribal business, guys, it doesn't just mean you just go in and do whatever. Make sure that you are serving your community with excellence. So that is something that we take very serious over here. That is also why we don't currently feature any business, because we also want to make sure that you guys have the appropriate skills for certain types of businesses to be able to. Now, again, you can market yourself once you have a business. You can market yourself to the community. So don't feel like you have to wait on anything. Once you have your paperwork, you can go ahead and start putting yourself out there. However, if you are someone who wants the backing directly of the nation, then we do encourage you to get certified in certain areas that are available. That way we can do the necessary background search on you, meaning that do you have the experience, the credibility in that specific area? Then if that is the case, then we want to make sure that your community is aware of that. And the way that we can do that is going through certifications. And what that entails basically is sometimes you provide resumes, transcripts, different scenarios or cases that you already serve, or even provide supporting evidence of documentation of people or clients that you previously had before you reached and got the certification. So that is important, guys, to know that those things are available, but specifically we will start featuring that in our government. So again, that will increase visibility and help others discover local Indigenous owned services to them, because we do have tribal members in almost, I think, every state. But so that's going to be helpful for people who are specifically in that area. If it is a local business, that they will be able to connect with you and support you as well. If you haven't started a business yet, guys, now is the time to get in position. Your people are looking for you. So please make sure you are getting in position, because some of you guys have been here, and as I don't know if you are aware, but your nation is growing. So that means that those who are taking the initiative to get in position, those will be the people who reap what is coming. So don't sit back and wait. This is a time to get serious about your affairs and put yourself in position so that once a nation is even further ahead, people like your family will be able to reap that benefit. So update on the vision project. Let me go ahead. So By the way, for those of you who have contributed and donated, you guys, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the nation, because of that, and also those of you who have paid into, whether you did your screening, started your process. I want you guys to understand, like, because of that is how we are able to continue to move forward. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to understand, like, this nation is a autonomous government, meaning that we are not funded or operating through any other source than what our community provides. So that is how me and others who are joining our team will be able to continuously serve you, is through the work that our people do. So we don't take that lightly. Hold on here. I want to go in and show you guys this directly. It's getting cold in here. Hold on. See here. Mm. Okay, so we're coming in. Just let me know, guys, if you can. Hold on. Where is the page? Give me 1 second here. This is acting up a little bit, but we're going to get it going. There we go. Mm-hmm. So again, where you guys can contribute is by going to Aboriginal Ministry of Justice.org/2025 vision. Right. Sure. Okay. So what you see here, and just to confirm, guys, can you see? Make sure to give me some thumbs up. Let me know that you guys are able to see the screen. Got it. Awesome. Okay. So all you have to do is come here, basically, to find out what we have going on. Currently, this is our budget. As you guys can see, this is where you can come and donate. So right now, all current donations that we have has been going directly towards our government office lease and setup utilities. Now, for those of you who want to have direct insight, or those of you who have contributed and want to keep track of what is going on, keep in mind, if you also are leaving comments, or you want to see what your people are saying when it comes to this, you can also go to this. Why is it not loading? Moment here. So you can come here. Now, the only how you will actually gain access to this page is if you are a donor. So make sure that you have, one, you do have to have an account registered on Aboriginal Ministry of Justice.org. Two, you also have to be someone who has donated in the past to gain access. This is something exclusive only to our donors, because we think it's very important for those of you who are donating to see what is going on when it comes to the updates and process of your nation. So we want to make sure that you have access to that, so you can, and we'll send out an email, that way you guys have the links for this. But again, you can find this page by just going to Aboriginal Ministry of Justice.org/2025 vision, and then going and clicking on the track the progress right here. Okay, if you want to gain access to that. So that's the update on our project. But when it comes to that, I want to see, give me 1 second to see if I can log in real quick so you can see. Okay. So I want to show you guys what it looks like when you are a donor. So if you actually go and sign in, let me show you here. So this is what it looks like. Now this is my account, so you're going to see a little different, but you're going to see basically what it, I want to go back and open this. So once you log in, it's going to take you to your exact donor page where you can also track what you've done and know how you've directly contributed as well. So that's the power of going to that page. You'll gain access to that. And also if you log into the account, just your general account, you'll gain access to that. But I'm trying to see how I can get there. Hold on. I need to go. Okay, let's share this. So once you sign in, guys, this is what it's going to look like for you. You're going to see your name, and then you're going to be able to scroll, and you're going to be able to see the people who have donated towards the program. So this is a great way to keep track of where we're at when it comes to our current goals. But and by the way, for those of you who did donate when we first got the flag, I hope you guys know that your signed flag was sent out, so be on the lookout for that to come your way. And we just want to say thank you again. So it's a pleasure that we were able to give you guys that for your contribution. But again, if you guys are interested in keeping track of what's going on when it comes to the funds that are currently being generated, then this is the way to do it. Now, oh, that is not the tab. Give me 1 second. Where did my presentation go? Am I echoing, guys?
No.
Okay.
No.
1 second. Let me close this because when I have so many tabs open, I get so confused. So give me 1 second here. The meeting's not over. I don't know why it's saying the end. Oh, I see why. I'm in the wrong presentation. Okay. So that's the update, guys, when it comes to our vision project. Keep in mind, if you are someone who wants to know how you can contribute at this time, we don't currently have any way for you to directly volunteer, even though those things will be coming soon. But if we like to say, want to help us lay some bricks, feel free to, anytime you think you can do something or is placed on your heart, you can always go to our website and give. Every dollar counts. So it doesn't have to be a specific amount. This is just one of the ways that we're able to continue the advancement of our nation. So I encourage you to become an active nation builder. That way we are able to progress a lot faster in this vision. Now, final remarks. I don't know about you guys, but I am so proud of us. I think where we started and where we are now shows what it means when it comes to people who decide to come together and make things happen. Doesn't mean we are any way to being finished, but it definitely means that we are not where we used to be. So I'm grateful for you guys trusting me to lead us on this journey and trusting the vision that we have and coming along and joining us in this walk. Again, if you are someone who is interested, because the reality is the reason this is one of the doula class is one of the first things that we are doing in the nation is we want to make sure that we have support for families, specifically mothers as well, because a lot of times when it comes to what our people have experienced, we normally feel very isolated when it comes to what to do, especially when it comes to bringing our children into this world. And as a mother myself who have experienced this, as someone who has been on this journey, I want to make sure that we are preparing and putting the necessary tools in place that families feel supported when it comes to being Indigenous, because that's really what it is about, is making sure that we have the tools. So if you are someone who feels called for this, feel free to go ahead and sign up once that is available. We would love to have you. This will just be one of many. And additionally, guys, I want to mention that this is like one of many things that's gonna come. Also, guys, I really want us to start cultivating I would say a brotherhood and a sisterhood. I think a lot of us have felt isolated for a long time. So community information coming up in regards to stuff like that. We are developing behind the scenes, but we do need to get this office. So this is why I'm telling you this, because getting this office open is one of the steps that we need to secure so that we can continue on the advancement of building basically a collective where we all feel supported. So if you are someone, again, if you are in the area, or if you are not that far out, or even if you're far out and you want to come out and support, we encourage you to do that if you have the means to do that. If you can't, we also understand. But this is just one of many things that will be done. And I know there's more to come, but I appreciate you guys taking your time out and joining me for this meeting. The floor is open, so we can talk for about 10 minutes about what we just discussed. So if you have any questions, this is the time to raise your hand and we can touch on that. So go ahead, Mr. Let me see here. Open queue. Now, why y'all came in here without your name? Next time, y'all, you please go ahead and make sure you put your name on your Google Meet, because like update your name on your Google so that it comes in as who you are. Because I don't know who went first, but ML.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
Oh,
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. I just need some clarification. So the new office headquarters for all of Xi-Amaru is in Memphis. Is that where that is? Because I've seen, I think when I spoke to you a little while ago, you were in Houston, and there was like on the website it says mailing addresses in Atlanta or something. So I'm just kind of confused. Is the new central place going to be Memphis?
So those locations are still available. When it comes to mailing, we will be updating that information on our website. But basically, our headquarters where people will be able to be served directly will be here in the Memphis area. When it comes to personal, in-person, walk-in, available people in your tribe, this is where it's going to be. Our other locations are still open. They're still available. It's just they're not open for you to come in and talk to anyone, just for security purposes as well. So those areas don't have any access, meaning that you can't directly. Now you can mail us, you can reach out, but you cannot come in person. So this Memphis, again, in person, face-to-face, touch. Okay.
Okay.
You're welcome. Hey, my sister, go ahead, Ariana.
Okay. Hi, how you doing? I was wondering, the childbirth doula services, like, will they be recorded, or is it just in person, or will you have it as an option, like if we wanted to like have snippets or like certain lessons like available online? Is that something that you guys are going to do, or is this just in person?
That's a great question, and I'm happy you asked that because I'm sure many people have the same question. Unfortunately, to be honest, we don't know yet. So it will depend on how things are looking when it comes to getting those tools in place to possibly even do such a thing. But we will keep you guys posted, and thank you for, letting us know that there is also people who may want that. So thank you for bringing that up. But as of now, it's a no, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, go ahead, Mrs. Campbell's.
Hello.
Hi.
This have to do with the doula, but the opposite. You said you want to do classes for doula and bring in new life into it. What about a little morbid, but what about like funerals? Do you have anything for like people that died in our tribe that they don't want to go outside, they want to be actually remembered as a tribal member?
That's a great question. As of now, you would still handle it how it currently is just because of the infrastructure, but those are definitely conversations that we do need to start having to make sure that we do have the support in place. That is why having a team in person specifically dedicating on a weekly basis to that is so important, because where we are right now, keep in mind, guys, we officially started in 2022. So the development of our nation, although we have capacity to do more, we only are based on what we currently have. But those are definitely conversations that we need to start focusing on, because just like life, that is also a part of it.
Right.
So thank you for that. But right now, for those who just have general questions, you still would handle that just like how you would previously. You just want to make sure that you notify us. That way, if anything, we can also issue you updates in regards to, okay, this is a tribal member that passed away. Then we also are keeping track of the people who are in our nation and being able to support however we can in that way.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Jaguar.
Hey, so the headquarters are in Memphis, and I remember on the Constitution it said like that you gave, I guess, the coordinates of, I guess, are we still leasing that land or no?
Yes, that's a great question. I'm happy you brought that up. So yes, that is going to be where we first develop, but based on where we are right now, we just don't have the capacity to be there. We still need to support right now. So although that is there and we still have availability to it, we have to focus on what we're doing right now. But future projects for the development, even in that area, will be necessary. But right now, the location that we are focusing on is the current areas that we are in. And keep in mind, guys, once this walk-in office is established, we will also be looking at another location, because that was a part of our previous plans. So for those of you who are tribal members and you want to start getting active in your community, keep in mind that other opportunities when it comes to training and becoming licensed and certified and those things are also coming up. But we're going to keep it today specifically towards the things that we just mentioned. But thank you for that question, Mr. Jaguar. Go ahead, Tracy.
Two things. One thing, to the previous point about the death, there is a such thing as a death doula, just like it is as a birth doula. So, as you're exploring it, just know that that is a such thing where somebody helps through that process, just like they do with birth. The second is I am in Memphis, and I won't be able to attend the event because I'll actually be at a conference in California that whole week. So when I looked at the date, that kind of broke my heart, because I do look forward to meeting you guys. But hopefully I'm sure there'll be other events where I get to meet you.
Yes, thank you for letting us know, Tracy. And we're definitely looking forward to connecting with you being out here. But yes, thank you. And also for letting us know about that part. Because at the end of the day, guys, I want you to understand that this is our nation. So just like how Tracy brought that to the front, we all have experience in so many different things. A nation can't be built by one person. So that's why it's very important for you guys to understand the importance of you coming in, putting yourself in position, meaning getting certified, getting your business in place, because then we can partner together and support you as you go into certain industries. Understand? So yeah. Hi, Miss Hania. Did I say that correct? Go ahead, you're on mute.
Mute. Okay, there I go. I was trying to figure out how Hanaya.
Hanaya.
Yeah, I'm excited. I came and signed the Constitution.
Yes!
I haven't seen it in a while.
You have to pull up on us. Please come to us for
Like,
this.
you know, I'm gonna be there.
We've come far.
I've been at so many births. I have 6 sisters, so I think I want to do the doula thing.
Oh, yay! We are looking forward to seeing you. Are you considering? You said you're considering coming out for that?
Oh, absolutely,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Now, I had a question too.
Mhm.
And so, as far as how the pace of the events are going to occur, is it going to be all during the same weekend, or is these separate events like back to back? So when I come down, can I just like stay the whole weekend, or how does that work?
That's a great question. So keep in mind so it's going to be Saturday. So that's going to be the 21st. And then on the Monday and Tuesday, that's when the birthing event will be, the class. So I would recommend just, if you're coming out, you could do that. And then I think that would be the smartest thing to do when it comes to the scheduling. So that's why we also kind of put it there, give people a little rest on Sunday, and then on Monday, those who either have available schedule or took off from work or whatever they need to do, then they will be able to do that. And it's not going to be like an all-day event. We're going to break it up into small sections. So let's say maybe within 1 to 2 hours each day, and then the final day you'll have a recap where you kind of have to go through your questions and we just want to make sure that before you leave, you are prepared. And then there will also be a follow-up after that for those who attend. But yeah.
And then when you have the dinner socialization, is that going to be that Sunday, or will it be like Wednesday or that Tuesday?
It's going to be on the Tuesday. It's going to be after the class. That's something that we're going to do after, but further details of that will also be available this upcoming week, so that you will know basically how to strategize and plan out for that event.
Okay. Now, the attire you said for the grand opening, we know about that.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Like you always do.
Oh, yeah. Now for the doula class, how you want yoga attire or?
Oh yeah, that's a chill. I would say, it's gonna be, well, again, it doesn't mean men can't attend, but I'm assuming that mostly the ladies will be considering taking this, but you can be semi-formal. It doesn't really have to be completely, but it's basically however anyone wants to come.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Who came in first? Amelia?
Hey, so the question I have is about the 2025 vision board, and I'm watching this from my phone, so forgive me if I missed anything, but I'm curious to know if we are actually on par and pacing for that, just based on what has been contributed thus far. And I'm not exactly sure when the budget was released, or it became official for 2025, but yeah, I'm just sort of curious about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So not necessarily. Well, we also haven't really been pushing it as much when it comes, because again, we're still a small team, so certain things that we focus on. But as of today, we are at, let me go back and pull that up so I can make sure Mhm. Mhm. Here. I think we're under $1,000 from the 2 million.8. I think that we were on, but we are hopeful that, maybe someone who is very wealthy may join the tribe and we will be pushed into the future. But
Right.
we are at 700. Wait, I want to go ahead and pull that back up so I give you the exact number though. Oh, here we are. Share this tab. Can you guys confirm you can see this real quick? Give me some thumbs up, guys. Okay, awesome. So we do have a breakdown. If you aren't, you said you're on your phone, make sure that you go to, and it's also available within the menu of our website. So you can find the report there so you can get a better understanding. But we overall, based on the calculations, now keep in mind this is for staffing, new staffing that we want to cover. We are bringing more people on the team. Like I said previously, is for a long time, we've been operating more so with part-time employment, but we want to offer more stability within the tribe. So we do have a budget for that. But right now, all the resources that we have has been going towards the opening up the office. And keep in mind, guys, we're still not even complete with that. So I'm happy you touched on that. We still need computers. We still need the tools to have the team functioning. But we are hopeful that that will be coming up. And also, as resources come in, currently, what our resources goes towards is staffing. That's really just trying to maintain, to be able to pay people every biweekly and so forth, to be here to serve you guys. So that's really all we've been able to do. But I'm hopeful that as people become more aware and become more active, we will be able to make even greater impact, because at the end of the day, we're still here. So I mean, that's still good, because but here we are. But overall, right now, what we see is as you guys can see, we still have 0 for staffing. No one has contributed to that. No one has contributed towards even the remote staffing. And right now, we're about to do 2 types of teams. So there's still going to be teams that are not on site, and then we're going to have people who are on site. So that means that we're going to need you guys to remember that when it comes to what we're doing. Like, I know sometimes, you get your service, which is fine. Your service also contributes towards this. So keep in mind, the current resources that we're talking about are directly the contributions, because we don't have any form of taxation in place. This is why this type of vision is set up. You understand? Because we also understand that our people at this time we all have a lot of weight on our shoulders, right? Personally. So we don't want to go ahead and just start implementing things. So this is still up to each person to, put it in your budget. And for those who have, because we do have people who do contribute on a regular basis when it comes to the advancement of the nation. Thank you guys for doing that and setting that apart. And that helps. I'm telling you, whether it's 10, 5, 20, 25, 50, whatever you contribute helps the movement of this nation. So don't think you have to wait for a big portion of anything to do something. That's what I really want to mention. But that being said, right now, everyone has contributed so far, and that we've had 11 donations towards the government office, which the budget is actually $275,000. But as of now, we have $790 that has gone into that. So again, guys, like I said, we don't have the office equipment. So we don't have the technology that we need for the office to even be functional. So we are talking about the grand opening, but keep in mind, we still need to put things in place. But we are hopeful that this upcoming week and the weeks to come, that we will not just be doing the grand opening, but we will be fully operational before this month is over. That being said, we also need security, guys. So as we mentioned before, and I don't know if you guys who were able to attend or if you watched the previous meeting that we had this month, this is not something that we should take lightly when it comes to our security and making sure that we, and also the teams and the people that we put in place, we want to make sure that they are protected. So we have to include such a thing in our budget, because I think a lot of times we think that when we talk about security in this nation, or the way people talk about security when it comes to us as a people, we think it's only one type of look. But we need to be able to protect ourselves from anybody. You see what I'm saying? So we have to start developing the infrastructures for that as well, so that we as a group, we can gather and feel safe and also have the authority to cover ourselves when it comes to wherever we are. So these are very important things that we have to implement. And then we also have a budget, guys, for expansion. Like we know everyone isn't able to pay. So if you are someone who may have already went through the process and you want to help a brother, sister, a family, consider donating towards this, because it helps us, because we also have the special request department, which helps, but you can also pay it forward. You understand? So consider contributing, like wherever you feel called, there is something that you can do. That's what we're saying. Like, even though you may not at this time be able to volunteer, whatever it is that you feel called to do, just go to our vision project and see where you want to make an impact. But that being said, guys, we're grateful. And at the end of the day, we do know that we have a God that sees it all. So regardless of whatever, although the money is good, we also know that God is covering us. So wherever we step, if he's telling us to do it, that means it will be done. It's just a matter of time. And we will continue to march forward on that. But I hope that answered your question, Amelia. And then I see Mr. Marvin, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Thank you. First and foremost, amazing. So appreciative to be here and also to become a member of Xi-Amaru. So all praises and power be to Xi-Amaru.
We're happy to have you. We're happy to have you.
Excellent. So my question, I have an LLC and I am excited to become a part with the business and whatnot with Xi-Amaru. I also have a secular job and I'm looking for my certification to come as a tribal member. So my meat question here, Chief, is, am I going to be able to use this certification so that it will alleviate me from paying taxes with my secular job?
Great question. Great question. So when it comes to you moving forward, so are you a national or a citizen yet? Like what's your status?
I just received an email saying that my process was complete and I've ordered my certification. So I'm at that point right now, Chief.
Okay, awesome. So that means, just to make sure you have full clarity, so there's two types of status within our nation. So one is a national and one is a citizen. So for someone who wants to be able to get the full benefit of being covered legally and lawfully within our jurisdiction, especially when it comes to taxation, that individual has to be an official tribal member, meaning a official Xi-Amaru Native American. Because then you are able to go to your employer. Once you go through the process officially, you will receive a member ID and a tax exempt ID, okay? That tax exempt ID is what you will use when it comes to, wait, let me go ahead, since we're here, because I know we normally haven't had tribal meetings, I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get the document real quick. Because I do know, so keep in mind, guys, because one of the things you do have to request because we're not supposed to assume that anyone is employed or not employed or a business owner. So we don't just send you a bunch of documents. You understand? So it is your job, once you go through the process, to make sure that you reach out to our team. We do send communications on how to reach out so that you do get the best service based on who you are. But let me go ahead and pull up these documents real quick since we're having this conversation. And thank you, Marvin, for asking that question, because I know many people in here may have similar questions. So thank you so much for that. Let me just go ahead. Mm. Where is this document? Oh. Mm. But as we discussed, so when it comes to, so you did mention that you have a business already in that jurisdiction. It is important to understand because that business is registered. So what's important to understand is wherever your business is registered, that is the rules that applies to your business. So you can't just mix the two just because you became. So you have to make sure that, and it doesn't mean because you're joining the tribe that you have to do away with that business. You just have to make a decision like, do I want to, for whatever reason, keep this business in this jurisdiction, or do I want to transfer it into my tribal jurisdiction? That way you have the rules basically that apply to your nation will apply to that business. So, but I want to go ahead and pull up some of this documentation since we're here using, oh, here we go. Hold on, let me get this.
So I have an LLC that's registered in the state of Kentucky.
So then the state of Kentucky is who makes the rules and regulation for that LLC. When it comes to our jurisdiction, the business has to be formed within our jurisdiction to have the rules applied to that business. So anything, because like I said, when it comes to governments, we have to pause whatever we heard, because a lot of times you're hearing a lot of things from people who don't participate in government, and it's just creating a lot of chaos. So you have to understand wherever you go, meaning if you're, whether it's with the Xi-Amaru Republic, if it's with the state of Texas, wherever it is, that's the rules that is going to apply. For us, because we do have the ability to participate in governmental affairs, that means that we offer governmental entities, well, in this case, tribal entities, to our people, and people have to be a part of our jurisdiction to have that. You understand? But the benefits that we have is, one, we do offer tax exemptions for our business type within the other jurisdictions. So when we talk about tax exemptions, it doesn't mean that there may not come a time where there may be a small fee that our nation will be able to collect from these businesses, but it will be us. So you have to understand that when we talk about taxes in this nation, it doesn't mean that we're just brushing our hands off and just giving up on the world. Because at the end of the day, taxes are supposed to be the way collectively people contribute to their communities, right? Just that we haven't had the ability to decide how that looks for us. So our nation, or the Xi-Amaru Republic, what it does is it gives us the ability to say, hey, we as a group will decide how we show up in the world. Okay, so when we talk about taxes, we're not saying no more taxes. We're just saying that our taxes don't go to you. You see what I'm saying? Like our responsibility is with our jurisdiction. Now, if you only did the screening, then you have to go get the official step, which comes with your documents, because if you do it without that, you're going to end up without actual protection because you don't have any official ties. Like right now, anyone who's a national, meaning that you did your screening within our jurisdiction, that means that we officially recognize you as a native or an indigenous person in the land. However, you're not officially, like you haven't officially addressed your misclassification. That's why the step 2 is so important, because that's when you're going to get your documentation, get your IDs. That way, when you communicate with the other jurisdiction, you have all the protection that you need to lawfully be exercising your right as an indigenous person, not as a Cherokee, not as a Choctaw, but as a Xi-Amaru, because that's your system that protects you. So
copy that. I'm clear. Thank you.
Got you. So that being said, guys, this document right here is what your employer has to fill out. The reason this is important is because this is what they're going to use to keep on record to let, like, if the IRS, let's just say, right, the IRS is like, hey, I see this person didn't pay taxes. What is the reason? They have to give the IRS this form. They have to keep these things on record, because there are people who say like, oh, I'm tax exempt. Okay, that's fine. But you, as a Xi-Amaru, you don't just do that, because you need to make sure you have your paper trail. So the reason we as Xi-Amarus are tax exempt is why. Can somebody answer the question other than Joshua? Don't answer Joshua. Can someone answer why we are tax exempt within the Xi-Amaru Republic?
We're native to the land.
What
They-
else?
They build businesses on our land, so they really should be paying us.
Okay, that's I can understand that point.
Paying us.
Anyone else want to contribute? Go ahead.
Is it because they have all the treaties, you know, where the one that you mentioned about the Indian Act, and then the 14th Amendment states for Indians not taxed. And then Noble Drew Ali, didn't he do something back in the 1920s and established a way for all of us, if we just followed the way, we could be, what is that? There's a number behind it, a tax code or whatever that the federal government does recognize for us to be, you know, viewed as not paying taxes, having to pay taxes. Is that part of it?
That's a good point. So I love all of those answers, but I'm going to tell you guys none of those. Okay. When it comes to us, a Xi-Amaru Republic, people who are in the Xi-Amaru Republic, this is what you have to understand, is because you're a part of an indigenous system. Let me share this tab. Hold on. Your government, meaning the Xi-Amaru Republic, makes rules for you, right? The system itself has rules for you. So the Xi-Amaru Republic understands that our people, which have the right to self-determination, meaning that we have the right to have a status, by virtue of that right, we freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. So because our government understands that we need to pursue our people economic, social, and cultural development, then that means that our system has to make some decisions for those people. So by that, our system says, hey, wait, our people have been oppressed, denationalized, experienced genocide. Therefore, they are at a disadvantage compared to every group within society, right? By nature, like it's just what it is. So because we understand that now, we as a system have to think, well, how can we help our people advance, right? Because that's what does pursue mean? Don't answer. We're gonna actually see what the word pursue means. Let's go just look at what that word means. Let's go. You see that? It says similar, go after, run after, follow, chase, hunt. So we have the right, you got to remember what we're talking about. So we have the right to freely, keep in mind it says freely, pursue, go after the economic, social, cultural development of our people. So the only reason you're tax exempt is because the Xi-Amaru Republic said you are. Again, the only reason you are tax exempt in this jurisdiction is because the Xi-Amaru Republic says that it is necessary for our people to pursue freely the economic, social development and culture. So when we're talking to your employer, you're not talking from a begging place of, oh, this treaty of this and this. No, Your nation is what gives you the power. The Xi-Amaru Republic is what said that's what it is. So when your employer is reaching out to us, we're not asking them, please go ahead and please give this person a exemption. We're saying by the laws and the things that we carry, this person is therefore entitled to have full compensation because they have been at a disadvantage within society. Therefore, you aren't lawfully able to tax this person that is a part of our jurisdiction. Now, the employer job is to make sure that they fill this out, employee information, so they have to let us know who you are. They can also provide your employee ID. Then they have to let us know who they are and how we can reach them, when you started. So your employer is who is filling this out. You're not filling this out. You have to give it to your employer. Then you have to give them your tax ID number. So this is why you have to give them a copy of your tax exempt ID, because guess what? There's going to be people who think they can take our form and then say, yeah, I'm a Xi-Amaru, and we're going to be like, no, you're not. You see what I'm saying? Because we have to also protect our system, because some people just want to be careless. So because we have to protect the people who are in our nation, we have to implement protocols that make sure that, one, there's nothing connected to our names that can harm us, meaning that there's people who are out here trying to be us and then trying to create a reputation, and they're not a part of us. You see what I'm saying? So this is why we have to make sure that we're working collectively in unit and knowing what we have and continue the development. So when your employer reach out, they're supposed to, so again, you have to attach the tax exempt ID so we can verify. So tax exemption request, is this employee requesting state and federal income tax exemptions? Yes or no? If yes, please ensure the employee has submitted updated withholding form with exempt status claims. Employer declaration, by signing below, I certify that the information provided is accurate and complete in the best of my knowledge. Who does it says? Employer representative signature. So who is doing this? Again, who has to fill this form out?
Employer.
The employer.
Employer. So that's why it is. But whose job is it to give it to their employer?
My job.
Our job.
Correct.
Our job.
Correct. Because guess what follows that? So then the employer has to do that. Once they do that, guess who they reach out to? They reach out to us to say, and then we have to send this form back to them and say, yes, this is approved. Go ahead and proceed. You can lawfully issue that person exemptions on their job.
Is the employer under a particular time limit in order to reach out to the Xi-Amaru?
So let's read submission information. Please submit. Wait, let me zoom in a little bit, guys. They normally, to be honest, tribal members have done it, and they normally send it pretty soon, but it's really up to you to make sure that you are following up to, and you can also follow up with them. You can also follow up with us. If you ever find yourself in an experience where, let's say your employer is just not complying for whatever reason, they're just not getting to it, then you have a decision to make. One, reach out to us and be like, hey, can you guys reach out? And we can do that. That's why your government is here. We're here to communicate. We're not hiding from anybody because you're not doing anything wrong. This is within your rights, right? You have the right to pursue what? Development of what? What do you have the right to pursue, guys? I want you guys to at least leave here with that part, right? What do you have the right
as a Xi-Amaru tribal member
to pursue? Economic, social, and cultural development. You being a part of the Xi-Amaru Republic, meaning you are an Indigenous Native American, once you went through the citizenship procedure, have the right to be a part of our system. But don't forget this part, guys. Freely. Did it say kinda? Did it say a little bit? Did it say in a cage? Do it? Did it say come ask the federal government for permission first? Did it say only as a federally recognized tribe? Did you guys see any of that? Can I hear yes or no?
No.
Negative. I heard
No.
none of that. Truth.
Okay, so we only see freely, right? Freely. Indigenous people have the right to self-determination, which it means you have the right to your government, right? Now,
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, like when you open your eyes to all the power you have, you'll realize that how is it that this hasn't been revealed to me before? You see this part too? When you talk about your employers. So you have to understand this. Guarantee, it says guarantees against racism, racial discrimination. Okay, xenophobia. Let's see what xenophobia is. We're gonna just do quick little searches together. Let's see what stuff is. Like we ain't guessing. Okay. It says, is the fear, hatred, or prejudice against people or things perceived as foreign, strange, or different. So you have guarantees against. What does against mean? Let's see what against means. What is against? I should have said define, but anyways. So opposed to, against means you're opposed to. See, the problem is you guys think other people should know this for you. That's really the problem. You're supposed to know it for yourself. No one is entitled to know how to protect you better than you. Now, you're not supposed to try to hit nobody over the head with this information, but you always want to be able to tell people, hey, I would recommend you look into this because they may not even know they're violating your rights. You see what I'm saying? So you want to let them know, like, do you know this information? Because a lot of times they may not know because they're so used to dealing with people who don't have identity. So you may want to give them a little introduction like, hey, did you know that what you're doing right now? And at the same time, just stop trying to do business with people who want to disrespect you. How about that? Let's make life a little more simple. Let's make life just a little more simple. Like, you know what? I don't like this right here. So whether it's business, job, like now you could plan, like I understand like life is sometimes, you got to do what you got to do. But at some point you got to say, you know what? I'm going to find an employer that will respect me. I'm going to find people that I want to do business with. I'm not giving nobody my hard cash that I sweat for to be disrespected because there's too much options, right? There's this business, there's that one. I can go here, I can go there. So why would I work for someone who I don't like or who clearly don't like me? Because if you know, especially once you know, and then you're willingly disrespecting someone, then they're making a conscious choice. And then you also have an option. But the problem is we have been so addicted to trying to get people to like us that we think the only way to live is by hoping that their validation will mean something. Like, who cares? We don't ask people to believe if we're indigenous. Please, guys, like, cut it out. We're not here to argue that we didn't come from Africa. If you are still arguing that, you are not ready to be in this nation because that's not what we talk about. We're not here arguing with people where we came from. That's not even a topic, right? Guys, we are past that, right? Can I get a yes? Yes, we are past talking about where we came from.
Yes, we are.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Absolutely.
So it says right? Amen. So it says, so again, against means in opposition to, opposed to. So that means that we are guaranteed that this cannot be tolerated. That's what they said. Keep in mind, that's what they said. So when someone in that jurisdiction is acting out of line, you have to remember there's a greater authority than that little person you're dealing with. Like, do you know that your head said you can't be doing this? So when little person who don't know anything tries to talk to you, you have to remember that you have a greater authority. And then guess what? That authority has a greater authority, which is up there. You see what I'm saying? So you have to remember. So indigenous people have the right not to be the object of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, or related intolerance. States shall adopt now see, this is what you have to understand. This is where your system comes in. Because then if you go in thinking you're going to just try to get them right, you ain't gonna get nobody right screaming at them. You have to make your system talk to their system to put them in check when it's necessary. Now, we ain't got no time to be going back and forth. So keep in mind, we're not here to argue with nobody either, because we just don't have the time. So you also have to be wise as well, but it doesn't mean we can't. It says states shall adopt the, so that means that when it comes to stuff like this, if it's being anything but that, we just have to clock it. And then when the time comes, we'll deal with it. But don't get so caught up in this, guys. I just want this part to be empowering. But according to the way your chief move is, we got work to do. So we ain't trying to just, we ain't suing nobody just because we can either. We have to keep moving. A lot of stuff sometimes comes up as a distraction. That disrespect that came up is a distraction. That disrespect that, oh, they made you feel like, oh, they didn't believe you. That's a distraction. Go where you're celebrated. Stop thinking you're stuck anywhere. You're not stuck. Stop letting people put you in a box. You're not stuck. Read this document. Don't come to me trying to read no law book. We'll always tell you what to read. This is what you read. These are the things you read. Read it over and over. And then I'm going to give you something even better, even though this is just your chief's personal choice of lecture. The Bible. That's what your chief read. Okay, so that's what I read more than this, if you want to know. So I'm just telling you guys, so like, everything you need, you have. Everything you need, you have. So let's go back, and I'm going to close with this document on what your employer is supposed to do when they get this, for those who are. And keep in mind, guys, we are grateful for your employer. Keep that in mind, okay? We're not against your employer, because if they're feeding an Indigenous family, that helps our government. So stop trying to think this is even to you being ungrateful, or are we just trying to ha. No, it's a teamwork. We're coming together, working together. You are giving them your skills, your experience, but at the same time, your nation understands that you have to build, and you're building from a, unfortunately, disadvantaged place. So therefore, now we have to protect everything you built. That's what this is about. So we're just having a conversation with your employer about that. Stop thinking that everything has to be a get back. It's not a get back. It's a partnership. The other jurisdiction and us are not enemies. If you want an enemy, it will not be here, because they work with us. We work with them. We have
Don't
to.
start my phone is on. If I don't make it, I apologize.
Got you. Go ahead. We're about to close, so you'll be fine. But I want you guys to understand, like, we are here to work with them because we want them to work with you. We want you to have the best life possible. You don't do that by making everybody your enemy. You don't do that by making everybody your enemy. You have to and I'm not saying that what has been done to us didn't hurt. I'm not saying what has been done to us doesn't upset me at some given points, but I want you guys to start thinking more strategically in what we're doing. You don't have the past anymore to be in your feelings. You see what I'm saying? You don't get the pass anymore being a Xi-Amaru Republic to be in your feelings, meaning you can't be angry, you can't be mad, you can't be, no, that's not, because nobody don't want, no, regardless of what it is, nobody don't want to work with nobody like that. Let's just be honest. You don't get nothing by thinking you're entitled. Cut those, kill this flesh. Stop thinking the world is owed to you. No. We work together with people to make each other's lives better. If you're at your employer, they need something done, you're there providing it, great. And guess what? Then they exchange that for that. But this is not a get back. This is people working together to create better lives and better communities. And we're doing it as a collective, meaning with their help as well. Because guess what? Your system doesn't currently have the bandwidth to provide employment for everybody. So we do need them to be able to make sure that they're not discriminating against our people and giving them jobs or keeping them employed. So them working with us is not just a flex. It's about us appreciating that and understanding, like, you know what? I'm going to keep using these tools that God has given me, meaning this job, to pour back into my community. That's what this tax exemption is about. Because we want to make sure, although you do have to go to other jurisdiction at this point, we do want to make sure that isn't the case for all of our children. You see what I'm saying? We have to think bigger beyond ourselves, and we have to become more aware of what we're actually doing. Please, you guys. It says okay, so your employer sign, it says, oh, how to submit. Please submit this form and copy of the employee's tax exempt ID to Aboriginal Ministry of Justice Verification Department. This, I think they're still working on this though. So they can submit it there, but normally emailing it. We also have a fax, but it's not here. But this is what they do. And they do it all the time, guys. This isn't something that your employer will reach out to us and say, is this a Xi-Amaru Republic person? And we'll say, no, that's just a national. So get your paperwork. I'm kidding, guys. No, but for real, you have to get your paperwork, because we can't back you up lawfully if you're not fully in the nation. That's another thing too. Stop doing things halfway and do the thing the whole way. If you need some assistance, we do have a special request department, but don't be sitting, guys. The more you wait, the more you think, oh, maybe this time, that you're losing progress. You're losing. How many times you've been working and payday come and you still making them people take out taxes because you think I should wait. I don't know. This is not no waiting. I always tell people, like, when you become a tribal member, it's like you gain a second job anyway, that you because it's like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a season, guys, to be wise. And first of all, stop letting people convince you that your power is outside of you. Your power is you. Your source, your energy, that's your power. Stop making people trying to send you guys on goose hunts and chases of land and this and that. Everything you touch is powerful. That's what this is about. Like, we are here to protect that. That's what we protect. We're not here to protect land. We're here to protect you. We're here to give you protection so that you can build. And we can back you in your rights. But if you don't want to build, then we can't, we're useless to you. I can just say that. Like, to be honest, we're useless. If you're not someone who believes in building, then we would be useless to you. Joining the Xi-Amaru would not be beneficial. Joining the Xi-Amaru Republic just because you want to be called an Indigenous person, it's just a waste of time. But if you're a builder, if you're a person who believes in going and making something for yourself, and also that doesn't mean, we also have, keep in mind, we have families who also have, disabilities and things like that. So we're not here to talk about those, but for those of you who are fully capable and you're not taking advantage of this, we're not a good fit for you. I'm just being honest. So really, before anything, if you're just a national, if you're just consider, like, you know what, maybe this might not be the best thing for me, because we got to lay bricks. Like, I'm just telling you all the truth. We got to lay bricks, and we're doing everything in our power to make sure that every brick you lay is protected and covered and invested for the future. That's what we do. But you also have to do your part. Now, I'm going to leave you guys with that because, oh my goodness, this meeting has gone on for a long time, but it was a pleasure speaking with you guys. The meeting will be available later. I don't know if we're going to keep the whole thing, but we shall see. I might make something separate and give you guys another piece of the recording, but thank you guys for joining us. It was a pleasure. I hope I can see you guys on the 21st. Please, if you can make the arrangement, come on out and come together and be with your community. But as always, guys, I love y'all. Bye for now, okay?